All right, my friends, it is time for another in our episode of Political Point Magazine. You are watching Political Point Magazine. Where the right is right, and the left, well, the left is always on the wrong side of history. Why? Because political minds want to know. So enjoy a conservative point of view. And let's talk pea soup. With tonight's top stories. Well, where is Obama on ISIS? Does Obama really have a plan to combat this fatal enemy? And are we going back to war in Iraq and elsewhere? The president sends mixed messages on this. And also, another week, another beheading. That's right, the ISIS savages strike again, beheading another American journalist and holding another American journalist hostage and taunting Obama, saying these beheadings won't stop until your airstrikes stop. Now, how is the president handling this? We will tell you. And also, it seems to me that picture perfect, former President Bush 43 was absolutely right, spot on about the terror threat. We will show you. It's accurate, brilliantly accurate, what's going on. And we will take it to the phones and talk to you, the viewer, on all of this on tonight's episode of Political Point with your host, William Mitro. All right, welcome, my friends. Welcome, my friends. Yes, and here it is, my friends. Welcome and welcome. Thank you for tuning in once again. As the president is now in the midst of a crisis here. All right, we have several crises going on. Okay, we got Russia, and then ISIS, which, by the way, ISIS now has become a bigger terror threat and a bigger threat to us than Al Qaeda now, and this, my friends, is spot on. Okay, and Obama, the thing that shocks me about this, though, is why Obama knew about ISIS for a whole year and he didn't do anything about it. Okay, and this is the president that referred to ISIS as JV, or junior varsity, which I think is the wrong choice of words for this terror group. Okay, now ISIS is so bad that even Al Qaeda threw him out. All right, Al Qaeda didn't like ISIS because of how brutal they actually are. All right, and this, my friends, is quite interesting. All right, so remember last week we asked, what's the strategy, Mr. President? Because President Obama got out there and announced to the press and to the world that he didn't have a strategy to combat this brutal terror network, the ISIS, terrorists, the Islamic State. All right, and the president has been sending mixed messages. Okay, the president has been sending mixed messages on this.
And that is to degrade and destroy ISIL so that it's no longer a threat, not just to Iraq, but also to the region and to the United States.
Okay, really? But then, all right, the president, in that same message, the president, the president on ISIS, okay, the president in that same message, that same speech, all right, he's talking about the strategy to downgrade ISIS. All right, he softened his tone a little bit. Okay, take a look at this. All right, he softened his tone. Take a look. All right.
We are joined by the international community. We can continue to shrink ISIL's sphere of influence, its effectiveness, its financing, its military capabilities, to the point where it is a manageable problem.
Manageable problem? Wait a minute. All right, wait a minute now. Manageable problem? Mr. President. Okay, first off, you announce to the world that you have no strategy, and then you go off to a summit and announce that we want to downgrade and dismantle their capabilities to the point where they're manageable, where it's a manageable problem? Excuse me, Mr. President. Now, ISIS is not a manageable problem. All right. We can't manage ISIS. Now, you know what a manageable problem is? My son acting up is a manageable problem. All right. But ISIS? No, my friend. ISIS is not a manageable problem. All right. Now, take for example now, the ISIS now, does Obama really have a strategy to combat ISIS? Because I don't think he does. I mean, considering now that that ISIS has struck again. That's right. First, it was James Foley, and now it's another American journalist, Steve Sotloff. Okay, ISIS has struck again. All right, take a look at this, man. Okay, they behead another American journalist. All right, and the barbaric ISIS terrorists made good on their promise. Okay, to President Obama to slaughter another American reporter. All right, if their airstrikes against the jihadist group did not stop. All right, and they taunted the president. Okay, they released a 3-minute clip that ends with Steven Sotloff executed, apparently by the same killer who appeared in the James Foley beheading video. All right, so now this is very, very brutal, my friends. Okay, and there's just no. It seems that there's just no stopping these guys. All right, they are taunting our president. I mean, and when our president makes threats, okay, when our president makes threats, he doesn't follow through on them. Okay, you ever notice this? You ever notice this? It hasn't worked out, okay? He threatened Obama threatened Putin from the golf course. All right. And then he also but then also now here's another thing that the president did. Okay. Now, a lot of times when he spoke about the beheading of James Foley, all right, immediately after that, he went out to the golf course and played golf as if he was very disengaged. He didn't want to deal with the situation. All right. The president has done this multiple times. All right. When in regards to all sorts of crises. Okay. The Putin when he threatened Assad, okay, after he made a speech saying that we could go to war, okay, he threatened Assad to stop his mischief, but then immediately after he went out on the golf course. All right, and then, so he's done this multiple times. Okay, he's done this to Assad, he's done this to ISIS, he's done this to Putin. Okay, he's very, very disengaged. And he's sending out mixed messages about how he's going to combat this terror threat. All right. So we have another American journalist beheaded, executed. All right. And they're holding a third. They're holding a third American journalist. All right. Just to get back at the United States. All right. For our drone strikes on them. All right? It's not working, Mr. President. We need a full-fledged plan to combat these idiots. All right? This is a no-brainer. We need more troops on the ground. We need more airstrikes. Okay? We need to go to an all-out war. Apparently, does the president have a strategy? We asked this question. Okay, does the president really have a plan? Okay, does the president really have a plan? Okay, Obama appears to be sending mixed messages. Okay, on this. Okay, but he appears to be sending mixed messages on this. Right, and it's so out there. Okay, and now to reporters now, he appears to be very, very sending mixed messages about where he stands. Okay, he appears to be sending mixed messages about where he stands to fight ISIS and all of this nonsense. Okay, so my thing is, okay, and this my friends, we are getting down to the wire here. All right, but we are getting down to the wire here. All right, and but we are in the midst of, we have here a president that has been we have here a president that really doesn't have any idea on how to combat our enemies. All right, which by the way, okay, now he says I played for you the clips where he laid out that we want to dismantle and downgrade and their capabilities, right, and make them a manageable problem, right? But then that directly contradicts that directly contradicts what Vice President Joe Biden has said. Okay, but let me play for you. Let me play for you what Obama said. Okay, right here.
We are going to systematically degrade their capabilities. We're going to shrink the territory that they control. And ultimately, we're going to defeat them.
A very...
Really? Okay. But how are we going to do that? Okay. Now, apparently, the president's going to speak on Wednesday about his new strategy. All right. Okay. But remember what he said. On August 7th. Okay. Remember what he said on August 7th. Okay. Take a look at this.
American combat troops will...
Wait. Okay. Yeah. Remember what he said on August 7th. Right. This is what he said.
American combat troops will not be returning to fight in Iraq because there is no American military solution to the larger crisis in Iraq.
Really? Okay. Now, so that's what he said in August. All right. But that directly contradicts what his commanders are saying, and what Vice President Joe Biden has been saying. But even his Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel has said that they're an imminent threat.
Around that dam, Aditha Dam, but it isn't anything different from what the president has said in his guidance to the military.
As commander, I will not allow the United States to be dragged into fighting another war in Iraq.
Really? Okay. Now remember that. Okay. Now remember that. He said this, but that directly contradicts what Joe Biden has said. Okay, take a look at this.
Follow them to the gates of hell until they are brought to justice. Because hell is where they will reside.
Yeah. Now, all that fire, we will follow them to the gates of hell. Oh my gosh. They have been sending mixed messages on this. But apparently on Wednesday now. Okay. So what's the strategy now? Okay. On Wednesday, President Obama will speak and lay out his supposed plan to combat ISIS. Now, and I don't know what it's going to entail because they have been sending mixed messages on this. Okay, so I don't know what it's going to directly entail, but I do hope that we are prepared. I really sincerely do hope that we are prepared for this. Okay, because it strikes me as very, very odd that we are getting mixed signals from the administration. Okay, and then from the president. All right. So now I want to show for you something that I recently looked up. Okay, and this goes to the heart of what's happening now. All right, so everybody needs to really take a look at this because it's quite shocking. Okay, it's quite interesting. The way things are shaping up today, we got so many mixed messages from the Obama administration. In fact, now they have lied to us about what's been going on, and it's quite interesting. All right, to say the least. All right, but now I want to show you something that's totally accurate. All right, and in stuff that's been going on. All right, so now let me plop this in because this my friends. All right, and as we have a clip here, and I should really get to this. Okay, because this is ultimately the kicker here. All right, the kicker as to what has been going on. All right, now, but play. Come on now. All right, hang on a minute. Now, I got this clip, and now I've been doing tons and tons of research. All right, tons and tons of research. Okay. Now, while I get this clip going, okay, I have another question. All right, which I need to bring to the people here. All right, but we have another question here. All right, and my question is, with all the beheadings and everything, all right, what would Reagan do? All right, what really would Reagan do? All right, because Reagan ultimately was one of the greatest presidents we have ever had. All right, and I really want to take this into consideration, because during the Reagan presidency, now we had he restructured the tax code. He changed the tax code, all right, and made it better for all Americans, all hardworking Americans, all right. Okay, he created literally millions of jobs. Jobs came back. The economy was on the rise. Okay, and this is what, and then in regards to the Cold War, okay, he knew how to handle Russia. All right, he won the Cold War without a shot fired. All right, now this is a president that even had the deficit going to at a controllable rate. Okay, the deficit was being reduced, and but this man cut taxes and improved the economy. In fact, Reagan left office with an over 90% approval rating. All right. So you just can't top that. All right. You just can't top that. All right. But now I want to get to something that you all should really take heed to. All right. Because my friends, it is quite shocking, okay, with all the chaos and everything that has been going on. All right, with all the chaos and everything that has been going on, all right, I want to get it down to something that everybody needs to be paying attention to. All right, we are now in the midst of the war. We still are fighting the war on terror. No matter how much President Obama wants to deny it, okay, getting rid of ICE, having our troops leave Iraq, and going to Afghanistan was a bad decision. Okay, we didn't even leave a residual force in there. All right, and there's word that ISIS has a bigger operation than Al Qaeda did. All right, it is just unbelievable. All right, but the president now has no plan, has no strategy. You know, you remember I lambasted this guy for saying that. All right, for announcing it to the world. All right, and it turns out now that a lot of the organization of ISIS, okay, a lot of the organization of ISIS originates from Americans. Okay, like there's this main guy from Boston, Massachusetts, that took care of their networking and their communications and everything. All right, and then I talked about the Americans that died fighting alongside ISIS. Okay, from Minnesota. All right, and now they have this organization that is totally outrageous and radical, extremist, But now I want to get to something here. Okay, I want to get to something here that is totally accurate. All right, totally accurate. Remember President George W. Bush? Okay, well, I want to talk about how accurate he was in warning us about how bad the terror threat was. All right, take a listen to this. All right, take a listen to this. All right, here it is. All right, this is totally accurate.
I know some in Washington would like us to start leaving Iraq now. To begin withdrawing before our commanders tell us we are ready would be dangerous for Iraq, for the region, and for the United States. It would mean surrendering the future of Iraq to al-Qaeda. It'd mean that we'd be risking mass killings on a horrific scale. It would mean we allow the terrorists to establish a safe haven in Iraq to replace the one they lost in Afghanistan. It would mean increasing the probability that American troops would have to return at some later date to confront an enemy that is even more dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear that? Word for word. Word for word. President Bush was absolutely right. Because you take a look at what's happening now. Okay. President Bush warned everybody. Despite his critics. His critics wanted him to pull out of Iraq then and there. Okay. All of the liberal Democrats, all of the liberals, they were criticizing and ridiculed Bush for staying the course and protecting us and keeping the course. But what President Bush did was absolutely accurate, was right, was spot on. Because now it's really eerie, word for word, everything that President Bush said in that statement is happening now. Guess what, my friends? Obama pulled troops out of Iraq. And sent them to Afghanistan. Whereupon, immediately after our troops left Iraq, ISIS moved back in. Or it was al-Qaeda in Iraq originally. And al-Qaeda in Iraq was started by Abu Musab al-Zakari. He was the guy who was wounded on the battlefield in Afghanistan when we retaliated after 9/11. Okay? We went into Afghanistan. Abu Musab al-Zakari, one of the al-Qaeda terrorists, was wounded on the battlefield, whereupon he was sent by Osama bin Laden into Iraq. And he was greeted by Uday and Qusay Hussein, Saddam's sons. All right? President Bush said that we will go after the terrorists where they are so we don't have to fight them here at home. Right? And we will go after those who harbor the terrorists. Saddam Hussein was harboring Abu Musab al-Zakari because when Zakari got out of that hospital, he started the terrorist training camp near Baghdad, Iraq. And he started the chapter of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. All right? And then it was Abu Musab al-Zakari who chopped off the head of American reporter Nicholas Berg. All right? Al-Qaeda in Iraq changed to ISIS. So, and ISIS became a bigger threat, a bigger terror network than Al-Qaeda. So, out of Al-Qaeda in Iraq, we got ISIS, right? And then we had Obama pull troops out of Iraq. All right. Whereupon, because we had the situation under control, right? We had the situation under control with our troops there. All right. So then immediately after Obama pulls our troops out of Iraq and sends them to Afghanistan, the terrorists move back in and they form ISIS in there. And now, if you listen again to what President Bush said, all right, about leaving Iraq, he stated that that it would be set, we would risk sending people, but we would risk having our troops being sent there again to fight an enemy that is more dangerous. All right, take a listen.
It would mean surrendering the future of Iraq to Al-Qaeda. It'd mean that we'd be risking mass killings on a horrific scale. It would mean we allow the terrorists to establish a safe haven in Iraq to replace the one they lost in Afghanistan. It would mean increasing the probability that American troops would have to return at some later date to confront an enemy that is even more dangerous.
Exactly spot on, Mr. President. Bush was right. Almost to the letter. My God, that's what's happening now. Is President Bush also a psychic? Because word for word, that's what's happening now. Oh my gosh, President Bush just said, wait a minute. Okay, so wait a minute. We have troops that left Iraq and went to Afghanistan. We have the Al-Qaeda terrorists in Iraq, or it's ISIS in Iraq now. All right, and they're a bigger, more dangerous than Al-Qaeda. All right, and now we have a President Obama, who is forced to come up with a strategy to where he's gonna have to send troops in again and fight ISIS. Oh my God. President Bush, you're a genius. My God. President Bush was right. Oh my God. This is just truly amazing. But did the liberals and the Democrats take heed? No, they didn't listen. But President Bush was right. But no, instead, they ridiculed President Bush for saying that. And they ridiculed him for the troop surge, which worked, by the way. And they ridiculed him for staying the course and defeating Al-Qaeda in Iraq and keeping the situation under control, and then installing a system of democracy in there. They ridiculed Bush for that. But Bush was right. My God. And this is why you should not vote Democrat. Because the Democrats literally screw things up. They literally do. All right. But Bush was ultimately right. All right. Now, let's take a look at what Obama said in Istanbul the other night.
Because of what's happened in the vacuum of Syria, as well as the battle-hardened elements of ISIS that grew out of al-Qaeda in Iraq during the course of the Iraq War, it's going to take time for us to be able to roll them back.
Really? So does Obama have a strategy for this? We will find out on Wednesday. Okay? We will find out on Wednesday. But for now, I want to open it up to the phone callers. All right? Okay. And let's get what's on your political mind. All right? 272-0319. Okay, is the number. All right? But my friends, bear in mind that we Republicans, we conservative Republicans, have been right all along. All right? And this is the one thing that really gets me irritated about the liberals out there. They just don't listen. They are so closed-minded to our approach because they know that their approach is not the right approach. All right? And now being evident now with everything that has been going on, now I think now is the time that people are going to be opening up their eyes and opening up their minds now and seeing that what the Democrats are doing is drastically wrong. All right? It's drastically wrong, okay? And now, I was talking to someone last week about the whole Obama thing and ISIS and what Obama has been saying and everything. And it just strikes me as odd. We were in total agreement over the stupidity of what Obama has been doing and what Obama has been saying. I mean people elect and re-elect this guy for what? I mean, you've given him a chance to totally ruin the country, and totally put the world in disarray. All right, and then you give him a second chance to do the exact same thing. To just screw up again. Okay? Ironically, I just don't understand, It's like you remember the old saying, fool me once, shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah, yeah, it's the shame on me thing. Shame on me, shame on you thing. And Obama's been elected and reelected, and he's been screwing up the whole time. He's basically a blithering idiot. I mean, with no real strategy to combat our enemies. And our economy is in the tank still. And we are approaching, an $18 trillion deficit. because of Obama's policies. All right. But now is the time of reckoning, my friends. Okay? Reckoning and realizing that Americans made a mistake in electing and re-electing President Barack Hussein Obama. All right. And so on Wednesday night, when we see the president's speech, all right, I want you to be thinking about what he might say about his plan to combat ISIS. All right. And really listen to what he's saying. Because now he has told us so many lies and misled us so many times that it is hard to even believe a word President Obama says. Okay. Now, I just showed you the clip of President Bush in his spot-on, totally accurate statement about the terror threat and why we shouldn't leave Iraq before we are ready. And look what happened. You had the other side not listening because the other side doesn't like the right. The other side can't handle the truth. I go through this all the time with the liberals. Okay? The liberals around here, they just can't handle the truth. The liberals around here, they loathe me because I speak the truth. All right? I get up here every week, and I am not afraid to go out in front of them and speak the truth. All right? This is why they loathe me. All right? They can't handle it. Hello, you're on the air. What's on your political mind?
Hello.
Hello. You're on the air. What's on your political mind?
No idea what truth is.
Yes, I do.
I've never been in Iraq.
Yes, I do. I know what the truth is, and I just showed you the
You
truth.
have no
I just
clue.
showed you the truth.
told you?
Everything that our former
told you
president,
the truth?
everything our former president
told
said
you the truth?
is happening
Do you
now.
believe everything you read?
I believe the good
Do you
stuff.
believe everything you read?
I believe the good stuff.
Do you believe everything you read?
I said I believe the good stuff.
Oh, only the good stuff. What's good stuff?
The good stuff is the accurate stuff.
Oh, the accurate stuff. And
Yep.
who made it accurate?
Well, as you can see,
Not what
there's
the Republicans do.
yep, the Republicans are accurate. Yep. This is why
come the
this is
unemployment
why
rate is
everything
down
everything is in chaos under the Democrats. Okay?
Under the Democrats.
Yep. The Democrats have put everything in chaos.
How come the economy's in good shape now?
No, it's not. No, it's not. The last report, the economy's still
see you
still
got
in the
a job.
tank. The economy's still in the tank, man. No, that last report.
Oh, really? 6.1.
No, the economy's
6.1.
unemployment is still high. So, if you look at the labor force participation rate is at a record low.
Yeah, but it's coming down.
No,
Who
it's
made
not.
it worse? I
No,
think
it's
the guy
not.
named
No,
Bush.
it's not. No, it's not. No. Bush did not make it worse. It was the Democrats in Congress that made it worse. It was the Democrats in Congress. The reason why the economy fell in 2008 was because of what the Democrats did in Congress. The subprime mortgage scandal, which led to the housing bubble that burst in 2008, was due to the subprime mortgage scandal.
Truth really hurts, doesn't it?
No, that was the Democrats in Congress. The Democrats ruined it, not the Republicans. Bush had the economy going to full recovery. We had a high economy under George W. Bush. For 7 out of 8 years, for 7 out of 8 years, the average national unemployment rate under Bush was 4.5%, and that was even lower than
Because he was in war.
that was lower than
Because he was in war.
Clinton. No, it wasn't because of the war.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of the war. It was because of the economic growth package that he put in, the tax cuts, which fueled the economy and created millions of jobs. George W. Bush created 9 million new jobs
Yeah, right.
in his
right.
8 years in
Because of
office.
the war.
No, it wasn't because of the war.
That's why he created.
No, it wasn't because of the tax cuts. It was because of the tax cuts and the pro-growth package on the economy that he put in. That's what fueled the economy. What ruined it?
The truth really hurts.
What ruined it was what the Democrats did in Congress. The Democrats took control of Congress in 2007. Both houses. And then they blocked a bunch of pro-growth legislation on the economy coming from the Bush administration. They vetoed a lot of bills, and then they ran the subprime mortgage scandal through Congress, which crashed the housing bubble that blew up in 2008, and then that's what crashed the economy.
I'd like to have some of that.
You're on the wrong side of history, my friend. All right? It was the Democrats that ruined it in 2008, not the Republicans. All right? George W. Bush had a great economy. And he did the right thing when combating terrorists. All right? So, and as I showed that statement, again, George W. Bush was actually the most brilliant president. Hello, you're on the air. What's on your political mind?
Hey there.
Hi.
Who's he listening to? He wonders who you're listening to, who you're paying attention to. Who is this man listening to? He's got all the same sources. Every day I turn on 38, 50, 45. I get everybody's slant on the news. And I am so disappointed because I thought Obama would bring I am a Republican. I'm a proud Republican.
Yeah, me too.
And I like the way Bush handled everything. He had a great cabinet. And in spite of the fact that the Democrats and Senate had majority leaders, we only have had the majority in the the Congress?
In the House.
In the House. For, I think it'll be 4 years
Yeah,
maybe?
since 2010.
Yeah, after Obama has been in. And Obama has caused so much division. He's fractionated. I don't know what the word would be. He's divided. He's trying to run the country alone. And that man who you were just had on the phone, I don't know who he's listening to. But and the unemployment is so much higher than what they say on the news because some people can no longer collect unemployment insurance, therefore they're not even listed.
Yeah, and
As
they're
far
not
as the fraudulent votes go,
and they're not even looking.
Paul is in Chicago now, mayor?
What's that?
Who is the mayor of Chicago now that used to be in Obama's cabinet?
Oh, that was Rahm Emanuel.
Rahm Emanuel.
Yeah.
Well, now, when the night before the election, the determination when the runoff was, they asked Obama. I've recorded it on my VCR. I still have it somewhere here in the house. They asked Obama, so what are you going to do about these votes that are? I've watched people in line, and a news reporter on CNN did not know who to. They favor whoever's in office for a long time. Now they're not so much favoring him, but guy with a camera, they said, "What is this long line all about?" And some people wouldn't answer, and then one man spoke up. So stupid of him. He said, "Oh man, this is my 5th time in there. Every time I go in there, they give me $35, and they tell me a name that I am, and so I change names and I just sign on the line, and I've been in there 5 times to register to vote." And why would he even admit it through CNN? I don't know what they did. They probably destroyed that footage. But Obama said, "Well, after I'm elected in the morning, we will know. I will look into this fraudulent voting." all the while, I thought Obama would bring us all together, the races. I wanted so much to be not this division we have. And the immigrants, now some students have come over. Some students they can't even locate from foreign countries. Did they say 7,000 or 700? Have you heard that count?
It's a lot.
Yeah, they're now somewhere in the States. And if they've also got the ones who left the States to go over and learn ISIS or whatever, they're coming back. I think we're going to have a whole lot of cells here that even in Ithaca, we're not safe.
Well, you know, interestingly enough, we now find out also that some of the funding that ISIS has gotten has come from the Mexican drug cartels.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and
they wanted us to be concerned with them border.
Yeah, and the Obama administration actually had a hand in that when they
sold the guns.
Yeah, through the Fast and Furious scandal. Yeah.
Fast and Furious.
Yep. So.
And now we can't do a thing about one of our Marines. I think it's a Marine. He's over there.
Yep.
And he's in prison. And why can't Obama, if he could get that other guy out, who he left his military ID behind in the tent, and he went out looking for, whoever.
He's not even engaged in it.
Yeah, and then
he goes out and speaks.
Why can't they bring the old man from Korea? I think we got 4 or 5 people in Korea.
Yeah, there's a pastor in Korea. Yeah, North Korea.
Yes, a pastor.
Yeah. Yep.
But because he spoke Christian, I thought the son would be better than Kim Jong-il. Now we got Kim Jong-woo. I don't know who they are.
Yeah, the son.
Too dumb too.
Yeah.
Too dumb too.
But you know, I was looking in Twitter at some of the tweets, and this person tweeted this. He says in California they named a freeway after Ronald Reagan. Chicago will now name a dead end after Barack Obama.
Are you joking?
No.
In Chicago?
There's a tweet. Somebody tweeted that on Twitter.
I love it. Well, even though we have Martin Luther King Drive here in Ithaca, State Street, we're still calling it State Street.
I still call it State Street.
They had to change the maps for Ithaca for all the street names they're changing.
Yeah, that will cost a lot.
Well, hey, we got to be concerned with the commons right now. As a child, I was a little girl here in Ithaca, born around Hugo Street, and we moved to Spencer Street, and we had so much business on State Street, and they wanted the merchants now to get more business, and they want to keep the commons for commons. We used to have a bulletin board up there for public notices or lost and found or yard sales. Now it's a lockbox. I don't think they even have the bulletin board there. A pet store opened up a grooming service right after where that truck crashed in, and they opened up a grooming service before the dog leash law, and then there was not even on leashes because you walk your dog in the commons. The pet store is closed. The grooming service is closed because I went to the city hall meeting. And I said, you don't mind that I can walk along there and get pigeon poop all over my body, but you think the dogs, even if people pick it up the litter, you can't smoke? What is common about the commons? There's too many. Do not this, do not that.
It's too.
So much control.
Oh well, that project won't be done either until next spring, they say.
I guess what shocks them was the water main breaks.
Well, I guess NYSEG went in there, and it's all a mess.
Yeah, but as far as politics go, now they're showing Clinton and Bush.
Hey, Bush and Clinton are
they're buddies.
Yeah, they're buddies. Yeah.
And they should have been.
I like that. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now
Clinton actually said that he had a better relationship with the Bushes than the Obamas.
Oh, now the truth is coming out,
and
right?
and the Obamas and the Clintons never got along.
Do you have any idea who you think will be our best Republican candidate?
Well, I'm going for Rand Paul.
I think so too, and that's what my pastor said. As far as, I think Dianna Feinstein would be better than Hillary.
Oh man, no. Well, she's now gone against the president.
Yes, she has.
No.
So I don't know if she's a turncoat, but I was there I lived in Oakland, California, when the mayor was killed by that man who went into City Hall and killed the mayor and 2 gay guys for gay rights. It was a big protest. And Dianne Feinstein was secretary or under the governor, or the mayor of New York, San Francisco.
Yeah.
And she was put in place as a temporary mayor, and she was mayor for a long time there.
Mm-hmm.
Then she became who she is now.
Yeah. Well.
Nice talking with you. I know you want to get on to other calls, but
thank you for your call.
If you got any ideas, I'm listening to you about other than Rand Paul, who we're going to have for his cabinet.
Yep. And we thank you for your call.
You're welcome. Bye.
And that is the last call because I need to get to the last words of the night. And we take you to, we remember now, Joan Rivers, all right, who suddenly died in the hospital after a procedure. The comic queen died, and she was one of the greatest joys in comedy in our history there. But we remember Joan Rivers, and our thoughts and prayers go out to her family and everything. So, but we thank you for watching Political Point magazine, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history. All right, follow me on Twitter at WilliamMitro2, and also follow me on YouTube. All right, we thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history. I send a shout out to my beautiful girlfriend Felicity Smith and her best friend Susie and the girls. All right, love you. All right, vote Republican.